Get ready, Staten Island.
The Ferry Hawks are back at SIUH Community Park July 7th to the 12th for a 6-game series against the High Point Rockers. Tonight, first pitch is at 6:30. It's Thirsty Thursday with $5 Bud and Bud Light drafts. Friday, July 10th, first pitch is at 7 p.m. May the Force be with you on Star Wars Night with post-game kids glow around the bases with special lightsaber training packs.
Visit ferryhawks.com now to lock in your seats.
Listen to the heartbeat.
Chevy is called the heartbeat of America for a reason. With SUVs made to move with your rhythm. The versatile Equinox tackles your entire day. The spacious Traverse fits your crew and your whole weekend. And Trax brings style with value you can count on. All infused with tech that has your back. So your drive always hits the right chord. Chevrolet. Together, let's drive.
Put something on my Instagram page at rosenberg.sydney and on my Twitter at Sid Rosenberg 19, Facebook Sid Rosenberg, and Truth Social Sid. I did a whole video killing Mamdani, because he's a rat bastard. He hates the Jews, he hates the Greeks, he hates the Irish, he hates the Germans, and he hates the Italians. And I ended this 80-second video, which I was going to play now, but it takes too long. The last thing I said was, where's the mafia when you need them? I'm kind of kidding, but not really. But Tacopina hates that. He never watched The Sopranos, and he doesn't like when you stereotype the Italians, even though he knows better. Because, Joseph, you realize, as the best defense attorney in the world, and actually worked alongside Bruce Cutler for John Gotti, that every Italian is either a wannabe or is a mobster, yes? Everyone.
Of course. I mean, that's not even a fact in dispute. We all come from that gangster heritage, of course. I just don't like watching it. You see, Sid, that's insane. Now I'm going to have you whacked just for saying that. Okay?
No, but you really did. I remember because I was talking to Angelo Vivolo earlier. He's a great guy. I know you know who he is. He's in charge of the Columbus Day Parade. He puts me in it every year, which is silly because I'm a Jew, but I love the Italians. So he, years ago, he banned Bloomberg from coming to the parade because he wanted to bring the cast of The Sopranos. Did you know that?
Yep. I did know that, and I agreed with that. But The Sopranos, entertainment's fine. You could watch any show you want. But as an Italian-American, we've already had to fight this stereotype for years and years and years. My father, who was an immigrant, worked so hard. And believe me, his family was victimized by, quote-unquote, the mafia, right, who stole from their own people at times by basically, they owned a little candy store in Red Hook in Brooklyn. And, they'd have to pay collection every month to some gangsters, or their windows will be broken. I mean, stealing from your own people. That's the mafia that my father and his parents knew. So I don't really support that stereotype at all. Yeah. And 99.9% of Italians don't either, and we're not like that. But the Italians that I want to talk to you about are the ones who founded this country or discovered this country, like Christopher Columbus. There's a legacy to recognize that Italian Americans embrace the symbol of really America.
Oh, no doubt. And especially the city. I mean, the Italian people helped dig the subways. You mentioned Christopher Columbus, going back to the country and the culture, from the food to the music to, I'm in a show called Gravesend. The whole cast, Chaz Palminteri's in it. He's coming up next. The whole cast is Italian. I mean, just beautiful people. And for this mayor to come up with this ridiculous map and just exclude Arthur Avenue in the Bronx and even bigger Little Italy in Lower Manhattan, how could he do something like that?
Yeah, it's Italian Americans helped build New York City, and he has to understand. I mean, he's not a New Yorker, so he wouldn't know that. But they built its neighborhoods, its businesses, its unions, its police, its fire departments, its courts, the culture, and they deserve the same respect that the other communities receive. And it maddens me. It maddens me. I mean, just imagine for a second if he had treated, the West Indian Day Parade with such disrespect, or one of those parades that the minorities are all part of, that he embraces. I mean, there would be a riot in this city. There would be a riot. And it's wrong. I mean, this is supposed to be the mayor of New York City, right? A mayor is supposed to build bridges, not sort of erase traditions. And we know who he is, okay? But New York's strength has always been every community gets a seat at the table, Sid. And the moment a politician starts deciding which cultures are worthy of celebration and which aren't, they're not unifying New York City anymore, and they're dividing it. So again, if he skipped, I don't know, the Lunar New Year parade or the Caribbean Carnival parade or the Puerto Rican Day parade or the West Indian Day parade, people would lose their minds. But, the Columbus Day parade, the Jewish parade, whatever, you guys celebrate that he ignored and skipped. I mean, he's the mayor. If you don't want to be the mayor, don't be the mayor, okay? But because if you want to represent the city of New York, you have to represent everyone in the city of New York. So if you don't want to do that, you're not the mayor, okay? You don't represent your ideological base. You represent 8 million New Yorkers, you idiot.
But he's in charge, man, and he's making changes, and things are happening that I think are scary. Some want to discount it. Oh, he's smarter. He's part of a very small percentage, the DSA, the communists. And I disagree. They may be small in numbers, but they seem to be popping up and winning in just about every blue state across the country, just about every sanctuary state. I think it's a real big problem. Trump campaigned against it in 2024, but these people are winning. So you say he's not the mayor. Oh, he's the mayor, all right. And I believe he and these other DSA candidates have their sights set on even bigger offices, maybe Senate, maybe one day change the Constitution and run for president. That is not completely out of the question.
No, it's not, Sid, and it is a little scary. Look, we're New Yorkers. You and I don't think there's any more New Yorkers than us, right? I mean, we've been here, we've grown up here, we live here.
Yeah.
We'll always be part of this fiber, right?
Damn right.
I don't feel that Mondami difference in New York right now. I personally don't feel it. Okay, I just don't feel it. New York's still New York to me. It's always no guy like Mondami is going to change the fiber of New York City. Okay, but you're right. You're right about certain things that he's doing now, like trying to reduce our police force. My God, we already are short on cops. They're overworked. They're underpaid, and now we're going to reduce them even more. His ridiculous free rent, free food, free transportation mantra that all these idiots on TikTok voted for and thought they were going to get it, and they're still waiting for their free rent, free food, and free transportation. I mean, it's just so stupid. But you're right. There's so many people out there who buy ignorance and think, hey, or they just are so miserable that they figure, hey, let's be so anti-authority. Let's just buck the system completely. And when you have a guy who's a socialist, a sworn socialist, right? Tell me in what country and in history when socialism has
it never
ever
worked. It never worked. It never, ever worked. And look, there's a lot of people out there, and I get very upset. Oh, this thing was rigged. They flew in Muslims. They took foreign money. They have no idea what they're talking about. He won this fair and square because of all these dumb, stupid, not just young people, a lot of those Williamsburg, Upper East Side, even older people, even successful people that hate Trump. And if you hate Trump, you didn't vote for Curtis because he's a clown and he was a quote-unquote Republican. You didn't vote for Cuomo because all you heard was Cuomo and Trump were talking all the time, and you hated what Cuomo did to the state. So if you hated Trump because Mamdani didn't run against Sliwa, he didn't run against Cuomo. He ran against Trump. And in this city, that's a win.
Huge win. But little do they know, Trump now loves Mamdani. So apparently,
I don't know.
Somehow.
But you're right. I mean, he acts that way, but he acts that way. But I talk to a lot of people very close to the president, as you know, and he don't love him so much. But he wants him to succeed in New York, and he's bending over backwards to be nice. I wish he would stop. It's embarrassing. And I've told the president that. I mean, I don't agree with the president on everything. I still love him. I hope he still loves me. But I don't agree on everything, and the way he treats Mamdani is certainly something I don't agree with. But the president did love Charlie Kirk, and a lot of people thought that Charlie would be president one day. He floated that idea, I think, to Eric O'Donnell Jr., I forget. Yeah. And, they got this.
He should have been.
I know, he would have been. And he would have been. This whole week of preliminary hearings, I've had Donna Rotuno out there live in Provo, Utah. She's on Fox News. And basically, I guess, Joseph, all this week was an exercise in making sure there's enough evidence to bring a murder charge to Tyler Robinson. And it looks to me like they've got a mountain of evidence.
Oof. I mean, from a prosecutor's perspective, this is a dream. I mean, this is the type of case you hope to build. You have admissions by the defendant. You have forensic evidence. You have digital evidence. You have corroborating witnesses all pointing in the same direction. Okay? So it's not just a circumstantial case anymore. Okay? The evidence overlaps and reinforces itself. So it's not like you just have a confession standing alone. And it's multiple confessions, by the way, not just confessions to the police department, confessions to his whatever lover or whoever the hell he was, his roommate. I don't even know what to call that anymore. But anyway, and then it's also supported by DNA evidence, surveillance evidence, phone records. I mean, well, I was a prosecutor too. I mean, this is just, you do have to prove the case in court. This is not a trial, and this is not a jury trial. But I got to tell you, jurors often find admissions more persuasive than even forensic evidence. People can argue over DNA statistics or ballistics, but when a defendant is alleged to have repeatedly admitted responsibility, the evidence jurors tend to weigh heavily is that. And so it's going to be really, really tough. I got to be honest with you. I was curious about this case because there's always something that felt a little wrong to me about this. I'll be honest with you. I didn't like the way that video looked like there was a detonation on his shirt from that microphone.
Yeah.
It looked like weird. It just did. I mean, that thing moved before I saw a bullet hole. I didn't like the way his security guard jumped over the table and didn't attend to Charlie Kirk, but grabbed something off the table, put it in his back pocket, and then ran off that video. I mean, we've all seen that. It makes you think something wrong happened. So there's some other explanation than just this kid. But one thing is now clear-cut in my mind. This kid did it. I mean, There's no question, right?
No question.
There's no question.
Yeah, no
Whether
question.
there was some other shenanigans going on, I don't know.
Yeah.
But if there were, you would think at this point, Tyler Robinson's defense team would be like, wait a minute, he was coerced, he was forced, he was whatever, hypnotized, something. So right now, I think all these conspiracy theories are falling by the wayside with each piece of evidence coming. And look, I've tried murder cases my entire career, both as a prosecutor, Sid, and as a defense lawyer. Cases are won when independent evidence converges. And what we're seeing here, what I've seen these last 4 days, is the prosecution attempting to present multiple mutually reinforcing forms of evidence. So ultimately, the jury, not television commentators, will decide whether that evidence proves guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. But here you have so many things to hang your hat on. And so the defense is going to have a real tough road to hoe. I mean, they have one job, create reasonable doubt. That's all this case is going to be about.
Well, let's see if they can do it. I doubt it. Even if they had you, you're beautiful. I love you. The Italian people are great, and you're at the very top of the list for me. You know that, Joseph Tacopina. So we will do this again next week. You're great every week. I love you. Thank you very much. We'll talk soon. Thank you, buddy.
Okay, my brother.
Joseph Tacopina right there, the best defense attorney anywhere in the world. Friend of mine for 48 years.
Thanks for listening to Sid and Friends in the Morning. You can hear Sid and Friends in the Morning weekday mornings at 6. If you like the podcast, share it with your friends and listen anytime at WABCRadio.com and download the WABC Radio app. Hit that subscribe button on all major podcast platforms. Plus, follow WABC on social on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and X. See you next time for a new episode so you never have to wonder.
What the heck is going on here?